Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is July 24th, 2025, and the trip to Japan is back on. And I'm going to tell you everything that transpired during today to get that trip back on the schedule. Also, Limak taking part of the responsibility for the delays with the Spotify Camp Nou. And finally, Ter Stegen has decided to undergo surgery on his back. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. I will begin this video with the news that the trip to Japan is back on Barcelona's calendar. And this is what happened today in order to put this trip back on Barcelona's calendar. Now, as you know by now, Barcelona are set to participate in a preseason tour to Asia, with the club set to play against Vissel Kobe on Sunday in Japan. And then with Barcelona set to play two other matches in South Korea against FC Seoul and Daegu FC. And even though the team was set to fly out today, Thursday morning, to Japan, last night, Wednesday night, Barcelona announced that they were canceling the trip to Japan. And it was because Barcelona had not received payment for the match against Vissel Kobe in Japan. See, what happened was that Barcelona partnered up with two promoters to organize this preseason tour to Asia. One promoter is D-Drive, who were responsible for organizing the two matches in South Korea. And the other promoter was the Yasuda Group, who were responsible for organizing the trip to Japan and that match against Vissel Kobe. And while it seems that the Yasuda Group did not pay Barcelona the 5 million euros that they had agreed on, and since Barcelona did not receive that payment, last night, Wednesday night, they announced that they were not going to travel to Japan, but that the two matches in South Korea were going to, keep on happening, or that they were going to happen. Well, today in the morning, Thursday morning, the former Barcelona sponsor and the main sponsor of Vissel Kobe, Rakuten, announced that they were going to cover the money owed to Barcelona, the 5 million euros. And they said, look, Yasuda Group did not pay you the 5 million. Don't worry, we're going to pay it on their behalf. Why? Because, again, Rakuten is the main sponsor of Vissel Kobe, and they had already started selling tickets to the match against Vissel Kobe, so they didn't want to cancel that match, so they decided to pay the 5 million euros that Barcelona were owed. And that's when Barcelona announced that the trip to Japan was back on. But that wasn't the end of it, because hours after announcing that the trip was back on, Barcelona then decided to say, no, we're not traveling to Japan, because there was still disagreement with Rakuten, where Rakuten wanted to pay Barcelona the 5 million once Barcelona were up in the air. They were flying on the way to Japan, and Barcelona wanted the 5 million euros before they got onto the plane. So Barcelona, because of this disagreement, said, never mind, Japan trip is once again canceled. But then hours later, Barcelona announced that the Japan trip was back on, because they had reached a full agreement with Rakuten, and that the team was set to fly out of Barcelona at 10 p.m. on Thursday night local time. However, sources confirmed that the team has not flown out of the city of Barcelona, so it's expected that they will fly out tomorrow, Friday morning, out of Barcelona, which, with the time that it takes to get to Japan plus the time difference, most likely the team will get to Japan on Saturday with less than 24 hours to play the match against Vissel Kobe. But nonetheless, just know that the trip to Japan is back on after Rakuten agreed to pay the 5 million euros owed to Barcelona. And all I have to say, man, what a circus. What a circus. And I know you might say, Mo, this is not Barcelona's fault. It's the sponsor, the promoter who didn't make the payment. But look, as I said yesterday in yesterday's podcast, is there no vetting process to who we do business with? Because this already happened with Libero, right? We had an investor from Mexico, money in hand, ready to buy shares in Barca Vision. Barcelona back out of that deal. Instead, they go into business with Libero, and Libero don't pay us, and we get screwed. Then Barcelona have a promoter, Andres Iniesta's company, NSN. Barcelona back out of that. They decide to do business with the Yasuda Group. What happens? Yasuda Group is screw us over. So again, is there no vetting process at Barcelona? Because look, Barcelona is one of the most popular and biggest brands in the world. Everybody wants to do business with us. That doesn't mean we should do business with everybody, right? We should have a vetting process to where we vet everybody that wants to do business with us. And that way we only do business with those, who are trustworthy, who we know they're going to actually fulfill their contract obligations. But it seems like this process just does not exist at the club. Also, why are we waiting for payments until the night before we're supposed to fly out? This preseason tour has been planned for months. Why not put deadlines in the contract and say, hey, pay us 30 days before the trip or we cancel it? Is 30 days too long? Okay, fine. 15 days before the trip. If you don't pay us 15 days before the trip, it's canceled. And that gives you more time to figure out a solution. For example, the Rakuten solution. Or if there's no one to step in and make the payment, figure out a different solution. Play a match somewhere else. Why wait until the night before you're supposed to fly out to say, never mind, it's canceled. No, wait, it's back on. No, wait, it's canceled. No, wait, it's back on again. I mean, what is going on? Why? What is this circus? But anyways, just know that Barcelona are set to fly out to Japan after canceling and putting the trip back on a bunch of times. Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because if speaking of circuses, we do have to talk about the Spotify Camp Nou, because Limak has taken responsibility for the delays in the construction of the stadium. Now, as you know, Barcelona announced that they will be back to the Camp Nou on August 10th for the Joan Gamper Trophy, only for 2 weeks later, Barcelona to announce that the stadium wasn't going to be ready because they weren't going to receive the license from the city on time. And initially, Barcelona had blamed the city, saying that the codes did not make sense because the codes were, written for buildings that were completed, and the Camp Nou wasn't going to be completed. It was going to be an ongoing construction project even when it reopened. So initially, Barcelona blamed the city itself and its regulations, but now it seems that the blame has shifted to Limak, who have announced that they take responsibility for the delays for 2 reasons. Now, the construction company Limak has cited the first reason on the construction crews. They said that when they first hired the construction crews, those crews were not equipped to handle big projects like the Spotify Camp Nou renovation. And the second reason that Limak has cited is, well, I guess we can label it slacking off, because as you know, Barcelona do have licenses to operate 24/7, and it seems like the night crews were not really doing their work. They were taking naps, smoking cigarettes, slacking off, not doing the work. So Limak citing these 2 reasons for the delays with the Camp Nou. And look, at the end of the day, whoever is responsible, I think Barcelona messed up here making that announcement, because unless you're 100% sure that you're going to be back by August 10th, you just don't make that announcement. If all you needed was the license from the city, then don't make the announcement until you have the license in hand. That's where we messed up. Again, as I've said before, we all understand this is a major, major project. It's going to take years. There's going to be plenty of delays. We understand that. But please, don't make official announcements unless you're sure that you can comply with. Again, if you needed the license to reopen, don't make the announcement until the license is in your possession. But anyways, on to the next bit of news, and this one is a big one because, ladies and gentlemen, Ter Stegen has decided to undergo surgery on his back. Now, as I reported many times before, Ter Stegen has been training separately from the first team in the gym because he was suffering back discomfort. Barcelona wanted Ter Stegen to undergo surgery, but the player was hesitant, stating that, he wanted to continue with conservative treatment to see if he can improve. But after much consideration, Ter Stegen has now decided to listen to the club and undergo back surgery. And in fact, this was confirmed by Barcelona themselves when they posted the following announcement. First team player Ter Stegen will undergo further surgery next week to address his lower back problems. The procedure will once again be carried out by Dr. Amélie L'Église under the supervision of the club's medical services at the sports clinic Bordeaux. I can't say that word. Mérignac? I don't fucking know. A new medical update will be issued after the procedure. So the club confirming that Ter Stegen will undergo surgery for his back. And this is where the problem lies because, again, the club wanted him to undergo surgery. Ter Stegen agreed. But it seems that there is currently a problem because before the club could make the announcement, Ter Stegen made his own announcement on his social media page, which has caused a lot of uproar. And this is what the German goalkeeper said on his own Twitter. I wear the colors and jersey of FC Barcelona with great pride, whether on or off the pitch, in moments of success and in difficult times. Today is personally a difficult day for me. Physically and athletically, I feel in very good shape, although unfortunately I am not free from the pain. After intensive discussion with FC Barcelona medical team and external experts, the quickest and safe way for me to fully recover is through back surgery. After my last operation on my back, I returned to the pitch after 66 days, almost 2 months. This time, the doctors believe about 3 months will be necessary as a precaution to avoid any risks. Emotionally, it hurts a lot not being able to support the team during this time. Fortunately, the rehabilitation is manageable and the road back is clear. I will keep you updated on my recovery, and I sincerely want to thank you all, dear culés, for always being on my side. Don't worry, I'll be back. So Ter Stegen announced that he was undergoing back surgery before the club made the announcement, and it looks like that made the club angry because they hadn't sanctioned that announcement, and they were also angry because Ter Stegen specified saying that he will be out for 3 months, where usually club official announcements don't specify the time of return. Now, I've seen a lot of uproar on social media saying that Ter Stegen did this on purpose because, if Ter Stegen was set to undergo surgery, he was going to be out for 4 months, which would have allowed Barcelona to use 80% of his salary to register someone like Joan Garcia. And people are saying, oh, Ter Stegen did this on purpose. He did this so Barcelona cannot register Joan Garcia. And look, here's the thing. Just the same way you cannot 100% say for sure that Ter Stegen did this on purpose, I cannot say 100% sure, 100% that Ter Stegen did not do this on purpose. There's no way to know what were the intentions of Ter Stegen of making this statement. But regardless whether Ter Stegen did this on purpose or not, let's be clear here. It is not Ter Stegen's job to register players. That's the club's job to register the players. And if Barcelona have no plan in place to register players like Joan Garcia and Marcus Rashford, the only people to blame for that is the board themselves, not Mark Ter Stegen. I mean, last summer, Barcelona knew they couldn't register Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, and despite knowing that, they signed both players with no plan in place to register any of those two players. And the only reason Barcelona were able to register Olmo and Pau Victor was because they got lucky that Christensen got injured and he needed to undergo surgery, which allowed the club to use his salary to register the contract of Pau Victor and Dani Olmo. And had Christensen not gotten injured, most likely those two players, Olmo and Victor, would have not played the entire first half of the season, because this is what I've been talking about for so many months. This board does not plan ahead. They improvise. They wing it. They go day by day. They have no plan or foresight in place. And they did not plan to register Olmo and Pau Victor, and they only succeeded because Christensen got injured. So my question is to you, if Christensen hadn't gotten injured, or if Christensen had decided not to undergo surgery, does that mean that Christensen was to blame for not registering Olmo and Pau Victor? Of course not. The only ones to blame here were the board, and it's the same thing here. It doesn't matter if Ter Stegen announced this or didn't announce this. If Barcelona don't have a plan to register Joan Garcia and Rashford, the board is the one to blame, not Ter Stegen. And it's not Ter Stegen or any player's job to register other players. I mean, the effort and the mental gymnastics that fans are going through to avoid blaming the actual responsible people, which is the board, is absolutely mind-blowing. And the more I cover Barcelona's news and the more I work on my videos and on my channel, the more I understand how Bartomeu was able to do what he was able to do. Because when you have fans who will go all out to find all kinds of excuses and to blame everybody under the sun besides those who are actually responsible, it makes sense that Bartomeu was able to do what he's able to do. Because don't get it twisted. Whether Ter Stegen did this on purpose or didn't do it on purpose, the only ones to blame for Barcelona not being able to register Joan Garcia and Marcus Rashford is the board of directors. Not Ter Stegen, not Rafinha, not Lamine Yamal, nobody. It's the board and the board only, because it's their job to register players. Get that straight and get that right through your head. Because to blame a player for the registration of other players is absolute bonkers. Anyways, that is all for this video. We'll be uploading another video in a few moments, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.